Orale vatos. This is Luke Radowski. We are Change.org outside a small surf town near Puerto Vallarta, and I will explain why I am here at the end of this video. But the particular topics that I want to talk about right now are the absolutely scary things that are happening to people in this world, especially in the Western world, which there should be an entire conversation and dialogue about, which of course, since it's an important issue, there's not. But we're gonna have that dialogue here on this independent media organization. Now, the reason I bring up the really scary things, because I'm just reading some of the headlines in the news, and the picture that is painted of what is actually happening in this world, of what is happening to individuals, it's not a pretty one. It's not a good one. I just saw a New York Times article that is talking about a new report that is highlighting how fertility rates in the United States have hit a record low and have actually been continuing to go down even since the 2008 financial crisis. And with the economy being artificially inflated back up, still the population is declining and people are reproducing less than they have before. Now, this is happening because of many things. Financial is, of course, one of them. Social is, of course, another one of them, with a lot of propaganda out there telling people to save the environment and not have babies. And also, psychologically, with individuals thinking that they're not worthy enough to replicate. I mean, there's nothing more destructive than this idea that you're not worthy to reproduce, which sadly is an idea that is becoming more and more popular. Now, one thing that's important to kind of highlight here is that natural law doesn't really care about feelings, emotions, gender neutral bathrooms. When we're talking about the physical laws of nature in this world, they are harsh. And if you're not reproducing, I got a sun glare here, if you're not having babies, you're ultimately destroying yourself. You're going to become extinct, which highlights me to the next article that I've kind of seen here, which builds up to this later kind of destruction of our civilization. And that is that binge drinking has actually doubled amongst American women without children in the last 12 years. In 2006, 21% of women between the ages of 30 and 44 who didn't have children reported binge drinking. That number doubled to 42% in 2018, according to a new Columbia University and Washington University research study. Now, if you actually talk to a lot of different individuals, if you actually go out of your little bubble, a lot of this stuff with a lot of these headlines makes absolute sense. Now, it's important to understand, why is this happening? Now, there's so many different things that you could probably pinpoint and highlight and direct to being the creator of this problem. I always point to the mainstream media because information is everything. Like, knowledge is power. And if we're dumbed down, if we're shown messages that are meant to divide and conquer us, that are meant to keep us fighting instead of working cohesively, instead of being together, instead of understanding the power of relationships that individuals could have when they come together, building a family, building a community that of course can't be enslaved, that can't be controlled. That of course is against the major agenda that is perpetrated against a lot of these individuals that we're seeing portrayed in the devastating effects that the kind of counter agenda of that is having on our society. But I also think there's an aspect that's important to bring up here of people being kind of lulled to sleep with comforts. Now, we're living in a time and place where anything and everything is available to us at our fingertips. Our minds and body actually learns to adapt to a lot of the situations we're in. And we're in a situation where we are the absolute perfect consumer of not only just crap, but also the perfect consumers of really bad ideas out there that are pushed on us. I'm going to move away from this truck and keep walking in this direction. And with this kind of emphasis on being comfortable, this emphasis on me, this emphasis on someone else will do this, someone else will fix this, someone else will be responsible, that has been taught to us by, of course, the Rockefeller indoctrination system. It's not an education system. The current education system is based off the one that was literally produced by the Rockefeller family to create good factory workers. It's made initially to make you a smart factory worker, but not smarter than that. It is meant to cap your knowledge, your imagination, your creative, divine, human strengths and beauty. Why? Because it's a lot easier for the controllers to have control of you when you're dumbed down. And I think we're reaching a level of how people have been attacked financially, morally, spiritually, physically, that we're coming to a phase that ultimately is going to be destroying itself. And I believe a lot of this is because people rely on other people to do things for them, rely on institutions that have been corrupted, rely on anyone but themselves, with, of course, a major fear of taking any self-responsibility for themselves or the actions that they take in this world. This to me is very, very self-evident with a lot of this kind of younger thinking and support of these new presidential candidates who promise you everything under the sun that they're going to give to you in this wonderful play world that absolutely doesn't exist. It is a figment of your imagination that is played on psychological tricks to fool you to give up your power so that an institution, a politician, a representative does the hard work for you. And I'm here to tell you, you're going to have to do a lot of the hard work yourself. Personally, as an individual who is coming into their 30s, stuff starts to break down. Now, of course, I know a lot of people are calling for free healthcare and taxing people to pay for other people's poor decisions in life, obesity, and other poor choices that people make in their lives, incentivizing this kind of state where the government is this nanny. But essentially, this is the same kind of thinking that has created the current situation that we're in now, according to my own opinion. Now, I might be wrong. There's many different variables here, and I am generalizing. So, of course, if you do think I'm wrong, let me know why in the comment section below. But the bigger kind of emphasis, the bigger kind of point that I want to make here, as I'm going to try to traverse all these trucks here and this space here as I move about my way, is that the more you give up your power, the more you rely on others to do something, the more chances you have of ending up hurt. Now, I brought up the Medicare thing for very specific reasons, because personally, I had horrible experiences at the doctor. Even recently, every 6 months, I usually like to just get a blood test. I've been really focusing on my health since it's been utterly destroyed because of the kind of mainstream knowledge that is thrown upon us of what we're supposed to do. All of it is completely wrong. All of it is completely wrong. All of it should be based on an individual basis. Even the food chart, even the attack on fat. There's so many different things that mainline establishment kind of culture pushes on you that is just absolutely wrong. And now, as an individual, I'm learning that I need to be responsible for myself because no one else will. And I think that's a lesson that a lot of people need to learn. And if a lot of people do learn that lesson, a lot of the bigger problems that are being talked about, that are being discussed in this particular video, would be resolved. With my particular health, even recently going to a doctor and asking my doctor, hey, let me get a blood test so I can test out the levels of minerals in my body, the level of testosterone in my body, the levels of things that I might be deficient in. The doctor looks at me. She's like, no, you're fine. You look healthy. I'm like, huh? No, I mean, give me a blood test me for all of these different things because I want to make sure that I am healthy in many different aspects. There's a reason, and again, this is the funny part. She's like, no. I had to literally plead with her to do basic blood tests, which she finally decided to get off of her fat padonkadonk, stick me with a freaking needle, and finally do her job. And then I get the blood test results, and she didn't do half of the things that I asked her to do. But there's a reason the doctors don't ask you, hey, have you been out to nature recently? Hey, how's your diet? How's your sleep? Are you working out? How are your stress levels? There's a reason doctors don't assess these common sense things that are key to your health, but just literally throw you antibiotics. Now, I've been on a very serious health kick recently, fasting, working out almost every single day this entire year. I caught a bug just a couple days ago. This is why I was out. This is why I didn't release videos on this channel for about 2 days. Just randomly, in the middle of the night, woke up with shivers because I came down with a pretty significant fever. Doctor, what do? I gotta take some antibiotics. I'm like, yeah. Okay. Sure, doc. And again, I'm not a medical professional. Don't take medical advice for me. Everybody is an individual. Every single person has a different biochemistry. But personally, I learned that antibiotics destroy your gut biome, which is critical to your mental health, which is critical to the functions of your entire body and your entire systems in your body. And personally, it's something that I just don't find any common sense in doing. So, literally, just used some of my freaking flyer miles, came down here in Mexico, and the doctor here is my beach. My friend also, Chantal, has a health clinic down here where she does all sorts of stuff, from ozone to all this other stuff that I forgot the exact name of, stem cells and all that. And I'm here to prepare myself for my body degrading later on by doing preventative things to make sure that that effect is not as negative on me. Because as soon as you hit 30, things are going to start shutting down in your body, and you're like, what? You're going to learn how fragile you are. You're going to get hangovers that are going to last. By the way, booze and alcohol, that's the best way to mass condition and mass control a society. I stay away from that as much as I can. I still indulge in a glass of wine sometimes, but knowing the effects that alcohol has and seeing so many people abuse it more and more and more because it's just readily available. The government gets taxes from it. They just feed it to you. They sell it to you as this really cool, popular thing that you're going to get all these chicks and all these hot guys are just going to... No. Again, all subconscious mind control that is meant to trick you into believing that you're going to be the cool, healthy, fit dude if you just drink that fluoride-filled beer. and it's presented to us obnoxiously everywhere. Sports ball, gladiator, all this other nonsense is just shoved directly down our throats without any indiscretion. And that's fine. You know, no one really talks about that. No one really wants to have a large discussion about that, do they? But this is why we try to be different here on this YouTube channel. Another thing that I also am trying to do specifically is in being prepared for my body shutting down is taking measures that could possibly help me, which may include, I don't know if I'm doing this or not, but preserving and harvesting some of my stem cells, since I had a really, really good productive year harvesting my stem cells. So when I do get older and my body starts breaking down, the regenerative stem cells could be used when I'm in my 30s to help me out when I'm in my 50s or later years of life, because I know that if I keep going to the doctor, they're going to keep throwing crap at me. Usually. It's not always the case. If you, obviously, there's always someone who ruins it for everyone. This is why I say I'm not a medical professional. Do not take medical advice from me, because someone's going to break their arm and has a fracture coming out of their freaking arm, and they're going to be like, I'm just going to go to the beach. It's going to make me feel better. I'm going to get some vitamin D. I'm going to go out to nature. I'm going to go swim. I'm going to rest. I'm going to fast. I'm going to have a proper diet, and I'm going to make sure that my body is healed correctly. And then some butt munch is going to take it to the extreme and then ruin it for everyone. And then this is why the health industry is being obliterated, and I mean obliterated right now on social media, because there are some snake oil salesmen that do need to be called out. There are some bad elements of this industry that do deserve to be called out. But the larger lesson that, again, that I'm trying to always coalesce, that I'm always trying to go back to, is you are responsible for yourself. And the fact that people in the Western world are not procreating, the fact that they're binge drinking, the fact that they're resorting to pornography for intimacy, the fact that harmonious relationships between women and men seem and statistically are at an all-time low, it's not a good sign. And it's important to understand what's happening. It's important to know that no one's going to save you, but you yourself are going to save you only. And to understand that it takes all of us being the best version of ourselves to really move past this collapse that essentially is happening in many different elements. That's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think. If you think I'm wrong, I'd love to hear your feedback. Love to engage in conversation with you guys. By the way, we're also doing sales this weekend. So if you want a Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself hat, or demonetized t-shirt, or any of it, we have new promo codes running right now on our channel. I think we have Ship It B that gives you free shipping during the weekend. We just had a Black Friday sale. You may still be able to get on the Black Friday sale. That one was 25% off. We're actually losing money doing that. I think we're only, we're not losing. I think we're getting like $1 or $2 per sale, because we're we just want this messaging out there. We want people. I can't tell you how many people here have been, especially Westerners. This is why I kind of walked around into the more rural part of this town. Can't tell you how many Westerners are like, then they read the hat and they're like, oh yeah. So if you're interested in that, Ship It B is the promo code we're using over the weekend for free shipping. Stay tuned on teesprings.com /store/weird change. We'll just have the link directly available in the description below. And most importantly, thank you so much for spending this time with me exploring this little Mexican town with me. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.